This is an article that came out in Newsweek, December 10th, 2018. Black nurse says she was interrogated by Tennessee sheriff's deputy after entering white woman's home. Now, a neighbor saw her, and this is how they got the sheriffs out. They said she was going from door to door, which was a lie. She was going to this patient's house, and she had been there before. Now, here in the state of New Jersey, there's a lot of Black women into home health care as aides and nurses. When my mother was alive, we had visiting nurses and home health aides come into the house. And some were Black and some were white. This woman that she was caring for even confirmed that she was supposed to be there. But this deputy, who was a white female, couldn't let it go. But I'm going to get into the story so you can listen to exactly what happened here. Now, this nurse that visited this patient, her name was Stephanie Dash, a nurse with Amedisys Home Care, said she was inside a patient's house conducting an assessment in Franklin Williamson County when she noticed an officer peeping through the window and knocking on the door. Now, think about this. She was dressed in scrubs. The Tennessean reported, when Dash answered the door, the officer asked me where Jane Doe. And she said the local sheriff's department received a call saying someone was looking suspicious, because we know Black means suspicious, y'all. We know what that means, in the neighborhood. Now, this is what the patient told the sheriff. The patient informed her, so she's talking to the patient, and the patient is saying that she was her home health nurse and confirmed that I was supposed to be there. So the patient is telling this deputy, this is my nurse. She's supposed to be here. That still was not good enough for this deputy. So as far as I'm concerned, from this point on, she was just being a nuisance and harassing this woman. Now, what more do you need if the patient is confirming who the woman is and why she's there? You shouldn't need any more after that. Oh boy. All right. I had nursing equipment in my work bag with my company logo on it. I had on scrubs and everything, a stethoscope hanging from my neck. She still was not convinced. So I went to my car and gave my ID. Even with my ID, she continues to question me to the point where I said, okay, I'm calling my company immediately. Dash contacted her boss, who asked the officer, identified as Rhonda Casillas, on speakerphone, if she was asking the nurse look suspicious because she was Black. This is what her boss is asking the deputy. Casillas allegedly, she denied that. So this deputy was denying that, but this is what her own boss was asking the deputy, saying she just wanted to know what Dash was doing in the neighborhood. Well, again, this was already answered, and it was already answered by the patient. It should have been dropped at this point. What kind of person puts on scrubs and put a stethoscope around their neck and go bust it and go break in houses. Nobody does that. When this neighbor called, did she bust through the front door? Did she break a window and climb in? That's why it looks suspicious? No. She came in the front door because the patient let her in. Oh my goodness. When the nurse asks for her ID back, so now the black nurse is asking this white sheriff deputy, "Can I please have my ID back?" This sheriff initially refused to give it back. Wouldn't give her back her own ID. She stood there for a few minutes, just looked at me, and then handed it back. So she handed it back eventually, but she was acting as if she didn't want to give it back. Dash wrote, "I went back inside to try and finish my visit with my patient. However, Dash said that Casillas kept interrupting, asking the patient again whether the nurse was meant to be in the house." At that point, she's harassing. This was already answered by the patient. What if there was a serious situation with this patient and she needed emergency care? Would this deputy be disrupting then? I have to wonder. This patient already told you, "This is my nurse. She is supposed to be here." And you went back a second time? No, you're harassing at this point. Okay. So, however, Dash said Casillas kept interrupting, asking the patient again whether the nurse was meant to be in the house. Already answered. So, this nurse, Stephanie Dash, went out on Facebook and she posted the incident out there. As you can see, it's pretty lengthy. You know, she gave a lot of detail in what took place. At this point, Dash said that she packed up her things and attempted to leave, only to find two more police cars had pulled up outside the house. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. This is overboard. Now you can't do your job without being disrupted with all of this damn nonsense. Questions were answered, ID was showed. The company that she worked for was called. What the hell more do you need? Rhonda Casillas shouldn't even be a cop. She shouldn't be a cop at all. When the nurse asked Casillas to move her vehicle so she could leave, she was initially told she had to wait before eventually being allowed to go a few minutes later. Not only, this is what Stephanie Dash wrote. That's the nurse. Not only did you interrupt my patient care, you also delayed me from getting to another patient, okay, in need. So, other patients in need that were waiting for her at their homes. All for what? Dash wrote. The treatment you gave was uncalled for. The way you handled the situation was unprofessional. Your attitude was disrespectful. You are racist, treating innocent people like they don't have the right to be in certain places. I honestly don't feel like you deserve a badge. And I agree with what Miss Stephanie Dash wrote. I've been doing home health For a year and a half, never have I experienced something like this in my nursing career, she added. Dash said that she filed a complaint with the Williamson County Sheriff's Office after the incident took place. According to the department, the officer in question is still on patrol while an investigation takes place. Unfortunately, police departments and sheriff's offices investigating themselves, we know this usually goes nowhere. Okay. Sharon Puckett, a spokesperson for the WSCO, said, "We are investigating and working to determine if there is audio or video from the call with Dash and Casillas. The deputy was answering a suspicious person call after someone, listen how this person that called 911 reported this. The deputy was answering a suspicious person call after someone in the neighborhood reported seeing someone going from house to house. That doesn't even make sense. She only went to see one patient, and she had already been there before because this patient knew who she was. Why would she go house to house? But see, that was the lie that was told to get the sheriff's department out there in the first place. Dash's employer, Emeritus, said they stood behind the nurse as well as all the company's other workers who make home visits to patients every day. We believe all of our clinicians, including Miss Dash, should be able to visit the homes of our patients to provide the highest quality of care without undue interference or profiling, the company's marketing director, Kendra Kemmons, said. We also respect and appreciate the role local law enforcement plays in keeping our community safe. That ain't keeping nothing safe. Just like these bogus calls out in public, you ain't keeping nobody safe from calling the cops on folks for non-crimes. You ain't keeping nothing safe. We are confident that Williamson County Sheriff's Department will investigate this situation and take whatever action is appropriate. This whole thing is stupid. This sheriff deputy is stupid. And it should not have gone beyond the first questioning of the patient that confirmed she was supposed to be there. It should have ended right there. But this is the person, ladies and gentlemen, that kept this thing going right here. This is Rhonda Casillas. But please tell me what you think. This is outrageous and should never have happened. And it just go to show you the thousands of Black nurses and home health care workers that go out here every single day taking care of patients in the house, because this is what my mother had, are now going to be looked at suspiciously if they go in certain neighborhoods to care for patients. That's outrageous. You can't even do your job. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.